segment of Hardly Workin'. We're here at Bill's Auto Service, again, just to feature some local businesses in town that are our customers. And today we're here with Roger and Amber. Amber, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business?
So we started in 1972. My grandpa actually started in 1972. His dream was to own his own body shop, and almost 50 years later we are still continuing that dream. We are a family-owned business. This is my dad and my husband, brother, uncles, cousins. We all do this.
Well, that's awesome that you guys can keep the legacy alive, and we're so excited to see what's been behind the scenes this whole time, and so let's get started.
Mainly just collision work in order to make a living, to make it work.
In first-hand experience, they fixed my vehicle when I wrecked it, so they have good service and they do good work. So
your Blazer?
Oh yeah, my grandpa's Blazer. They
oh
did
man,
that
yeah, that was a long
1975 Chevy Blazer.
A long time ago. I remember that.
It's parked in the barn, but yeah.
Kind of like this one. Just got pulled in. It is wrecked in the front up here, and so normally the first thing we do is we come over here, and we actually before we start any of the cars, we pull them in, and we actually we scan them. We plug them in and we scan them.
Okay.
And this tells us what kind of codes is on the car, so that we know when it comes in, if it was like this one, if it has an airbag code, then we will be able to go and be able to look on the computer and see what codes that is, to where it might help us to be able to order the right parts on the airbag. And it also helps us to know if a car comes in and it's got a bunch of codes that come in that has nothing to do with the wreck, then we know it's got some pre-existing problems.
Okay.
And so this is scanned, and it automatically goes into this file for this car, and it's called a pre-scan. Okay. And so anyway, and then when we get done with the car, when they're done, like that one's going to be done today, it'll get scanned again. Whatever codes is on, they'll get cleared. Okay. We go take them for a drive, come back, and then make sure all the codes are off. And we've actually got a management system that we run here, and every single one of us, pretty much that work here, have them on our phones.
Oh yeah.
And so that's the management system right there, which runs just about everything here. This particular car, like that's a Silverado that's going to be coming in next week. You can go in here. There's all the pictures of it, which shows everything that when we wrote the estimate. You can go in here and look at the estimate. So each one of our guys, our body techs, paint techs, everyone has this capability. And so you can go in here and you can, there's the parts that were ordered, shows all the parts that were received. It even shows what date. If they're not received, they'll be in red. And so if a body guy is working on that car and he has to have a part, it's not in yet, he can go on here and, it's going to be in today or tomorrow, know. And so we all have the same one. And then it's got, if somebody was working on that car, it would have the body tech, paint tech, glass tech will all be listed here, and that way you can know who's working on it. And then there's a checklist. It's basically just like text, and so we can all text each other through here. And so you can task the parts guy, hey, I don't see this part, it did not get ordered, or shows when it arrived. There's the pre-scan, when it was in body. If it's green, it's done. Okay, and then it's in reassemble right now, which is right there, and so it shows that if everything goes right, it should be in detail, post-scan, and then it should be completed hopefully by tomorrow.
Awesome. And
so, and the neat thing too, when you bring your car in, if you would like it, they can put your stuff in the system, and then it'll update you every day. Whatever he updates with that, it will actually text them or email the customer every day to let them know kind of what's going on with their car. After we get done here, then like I say, it'll actually get tore down. This will actually be, we're fixing to come in here and open this up and just tear everything down, piece by piece.
So on bumpers like this, when, obviously you take them off, replace them, do you try to salvage these parts for other jobs, or what do you do with it? You landfill it, or where does it go?
A lot of it goes out, but a lot of these parts now have cores, and so they'll have like a $50 or $100 core, and so you got to put them back in the box, and they get shipped back so that they can reuse them. Or
the manufacturer can do something
correct.
with it? Well, that's good.
And so a lot of these parts will go back. You take a headlight, that headlight may be $1,000. So, they may send that headlight back and refurbish parts out of it or whatever. You know, yeah, a lot of our headlights and mirrors and stuff, they can be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Wow.
You know, and then if they're not damaged real bad, we repair them. You
That's
know,
good.
we do a lot of repair. There's a bumper right here yesterday that we've got a new machine that we've been using for a while, but as you can see right here, that it's a plastic welder.
Okay.
And it actually welded that crack up, and so we can come back and repair it, and then it goes to get painted. Yeah, just like that. That's your, you know, your block. So you can take that, and you know, you just got to start sanding, you know, until it gets smooth. So there's a lot of labor involved.
So
in
you
that.
did it all by hand?
Not necessarily.
There's some.
Yeah, there's.
To get this pretty like
I'll hold that
flush
if you
with
want.
the other
Yeah.
stuff.
Wow.
Let me grab a hose.
I think he might. Okay.
When you get it down pretty smooth, just like you see, that's getting pretty smooth.
Yeah.
He's got what we call it's just a little bit of a powder, and you put it in there, and what it does is it darkens all the spots that are low. So as you start blocking,
You can see what's level and what's
yeah.
not.
So you just put a little bit on that, and you can see. So then, as you start sanding, you know, when you sand here, you'll start seeing all that come off. And then, like I said, if you do use machines, you know, you can start see all that black. A lot of times we use the machines to knock them down, but then most of the time we still come back with our blocks in hand in order to get everything straight. But you can see as you start sanding that, when you know the low places, and that kind of helps them understand if it's too low, they'll have to go back and put just a little bit more stuff on it until they get everything flat. Because once it gets next door, them guys go over it with a fine-tooth comb. And if it ain't right, then they send it back.
Oh.
You know, so it gets sent back sometimes. You ain't gonna mess nothing up. If you watch this is a gear where it spins, and it kind of gives you a little bit of forgiveness there. They call it an orbital, and so it's not like a grinder. So you can just hold it flat. Okay. Just kind of, and in this, you don't have to pull all the trigger, just a little bit at a time. There you go. We got plenty of that. Anytime you got any extra time, you can come and help us out a little bit.
Well, good.
Stuff that's flat, you can use that like if it was,
like
you
a
know,
hood?
like a hood or something flat, and that just goes back and forth.
Okay.
But yeah, on something like that, it's round, you don't want to use that.
Yeah.
We actually have 3 or 4 different kinds of them. We have one with a pad about this big, and then smaller ones, and so we got different ones for different things. There's actually another one that we use for, you'll see next door for sanding. Oh, I did want to mention one thing while we're here. That's actually a frame machine.
Okay.
So if just like that car comes in and the frame is anywhere damaged, it gets pulled up there and measured out, and then that actually stands up, and then the rails on the side, the post, they go all the way around that thing, and you can hook up the car, and that's how we do.
To look underneath it?
Yeah, and that's how we straighten the frame.
Oh.
We also do a lot of glass work, and we do that right in here also. Do a lot of windshields. So.
Yes, I might need to come for a windshield.
Well, that's good. We could do it. My son-in-law, Trevor.
Hi, nice to
Okay,
meet you.
he runs the paint side over here.
Okay.
He keeps this all going over here, and so we did last year. We put in a new paint booth, and also had the other one refurbished. So both of these booths are bake booths.
Okay.
And so what's nice is when you do get them in, I will show you on the other side. But once we get them in, paint them, they can bake them, at like 140, 50 degrees for 20, 30 minutes, and then once it cools down, comes out here, then it can be on to get put together. These are all cars that got pulled in yesterday that the body guys got done with, and so these are all over here what they call the prep area.
Okay.
They're getting prepped and sanded. You know, this is after that fender was done, it gets primed. So this is that prime, and this is pretty much the same stuff they call guide coat. And so when they sand that, only over there we're using like a 120 grit or 180 grit, whereas over here they're using 400, 500, 600, 800. And so when they get finished done, then it's like this. See, this is the finished product of that. And so that there is where they repaired that hood. But the rest of this, they have to go in here and scuff. It's got to be dull. And so they'll take a like 1000 grit or a Scotch-Brite that really smooth and go in here and just completely, because once they take the paint and they blend this in, they come in here and then they'll clear coat that hood, and then so it'll be just like new. Then it gets baked and on
So
out
this
the other
doesn't
end.
get repainted with color, just the
No,
clear coat?
just the clear coat.
That's good.
Because if you repainted that whole hood, it probably wouldn't match here.
The body.
Exactly, and so everything we do is a blend, kind of like that one there. We'll get a blend into that door, more than likely, if they can't match that perfectly, because if they just paint that, there's a good chance it won't
It'd be
match.
obvious, yeah.
Like that one too, it'll get blended and then cleared. That's a 3-stage paint, which has got actually a paint, a pearl, and then a clear. So when they go in here, they're going to have to paint this white, and then they got to go in here and then blend the pearl into probably about right here, and then come back and then clear it. If they get that pearl all the way to here,
It won't match.
probably ain't gonna match. That's where he comes in and keeps all the, he looks the paints up, gets everything going. I've got 2 great painters that are great. He paints also, but most of the time he keeps them guys going, and they just do that all day long.
Does the dealership tell y'all like how to match the colors, or how do y'all do that?
He could show you real quick on the computer part.
Pretty much, you have an information tag on a lot of your vehicles, your painting codes on different ones that need different areas. So you have your total information tag on your GMs. Most of the time it's either underneath your spare tire or in the glove box.
Okay.
Down
You
there.
look up your paint code, go to your computer system, type it in, brings you up all your alternates for that one paint, which
Oh, yeah.
you'll be surprised how many alternates can be for one paint.
I bet.
We have one that actually has 40 alternates. So you have 40 different options you can choose for one paint.
So you
Try
don't
not to do that.
so you don't hire too many colorblind guys?
No, but I can tell you this for a fact. My dad, all these years, he was colorblind.
Really?
Okay, but he could match paint better than anybody. And what you got to understand, paint is not the color as much as it is the hue, and so it's the light and darkness. And so if that was a little bit off, he could pick it that quick.
I was gonna ask, like, roughly how many cars do y'all fix a month?
You know, roughly
That's a hard probably thing to gauge.
usually anywhere from 125 to 175 a month, usually somewhere along in there.
A
You
lot
know.
of people, I guess,
something like
get in
that.
wrecks.
Well, at
You know,
least
but-
2 per wreck.
But a lot of that you got to know is windshields, or my window won't roll up. So there's a lot of that is just stuff that comes in and out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do y'all work on cars too? I mean, like motors and all
No,
that
we
stuff?
do not.
No, okay.
No, we do not. We
Too
are
busy.
Body.
in the next month or so. We're trying to we're going to have an ASE certified mechanic
Okay.
that is going to help us do our airbags easier, our suspension work, and a lot of that, because we've had so much of that we have to sub out a lot, and so it's going to help us get our cars in and out a lot quicker, to have somebody on site to do a lot of that. That's actually where they do mix the paint,
Okay.
and so that is the mixing room right there. You can just kind of
there's a
see
lot
that
of
is
paints.
where, and it's got a computer system and it scales. All the paint's mixed by scale. They also have to RO before they can mix anything. That's got to be RO. And then when we get all said and done, just like that car, they can pull that up.
So, like, you know how much to measure out and stuff, so y'all don't have a bunch of excess.
Exactly. The old days we had paint on the shelves.
I know.
Nowadays we don't.
Yeah.
We mix up what we need for the car. We have a little bit for a touch up. Usually give a little touch up with the customer if they want some touch up. Other than that, it's done. We don't keep any paint mixed. We also have a couple of recyclers that we recycle our own thinner.
Oh, yeah.
And so we all the waste and thinner goes into a machine, it gets recycled, comes out clean, and we use that for cleanup. And so we don't have to have waste to get rid of. This is my youngest. This is my youngest son, Matthew. You remember? Yeah.
I think I gotta unhook it. I'll break it. Oh, that's easy. This way? This goes up? Thank you. What if you had to wear these at like the store?
What?
I got my lipstick on it.
Her husband's Mike Wilson. He used to put in all of our hitches and everything. He's that guy that has a big long beard. Mike Wilson.
Don't touch it.
You're hired. Yeah, you
We'll
did
do an
good.
outro.
You did real good. You did good.
I got this covered in makeup. I'm sorry.
This is really cool.
You gonna bake?
Y'all have all our hot fires. We suntan in here.
Oh yeah.
Not really.
I think so.
You could, I tell you.
Where's your girl? You said tan.
That's right. Get my tan on.
You're cold in here, so.
This whole side in the winter, because it's got infrared